Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to episode 9 of the Morning Blend with Cameron and Ryan and Darian. Good morning.
Good morning.
Got
You were
that,
struggling for a second to catch your name. You are Darian.
I am Darian. Yeah, we're here the morning after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, how many of y'all stayed up and watched that thing?
I did not stay up. I did not stay up. I started out strong, and then I just lost it right around the third quarter. I was heading to bed. So
Fair. I didn't watch at all. I didn't start. I
Wow.
didn't finish.
You just didn't do
ignored it.
anything.
Yes, I did. It wasn't on purpose. I'm just not, a football person. So, yeah.
Well, I get it. I didn't have a dog in the fight, actually. So, I mean, it really didn't make a difference to me who won. I was just, in it for the food and the snacks.
And just to get crazy.
Yeah, we had a good time, though. All right, so we're going to kick off today's show with what career would you want to pursue in another life?
I'm going to go last on this one, if that's okay with y'all. I'm
What
already claiming I'm
career?
going last.
Okay.
What career would you want to pursue in another life? I'm sure, you and our listening audience have thought about, if what would life be like if you had gone this route, or if you had taken this route instead, or you may think and hopefully not regret that you took the route that you did, but just kind of wondering what would it have been like?
I'll be honest. I did. Whenever we were planning this segment, I was planning to put thought into this, and I completely forgot to. But I do have something coming to me, and it's kind of one of those childhood dreams that you kind of forgot you had. It's coming to me. It's just dawning on me. Whenever I was growing up, me and my brother really bonded over watching cartoons and that kind of thing, and I was all into art, and I always wanted to be an animator and make stories and animate cartoons, come up with characters. I wanted to work at Cartoon Network specifically.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I really wanted to, and I kind of planned to for a little bit there whenever I was still kind of childish. I didn't realize the work that a lot of people had to put into that to get in that space.
Yeah.
So when I realized that, obviously I had to figure something else out. But that is probably what I would pursue in another life if I had more wisdom and more planning whenever I was younger.
It certainly sounds like a fun career. I mean, think
It
about
does.
it. We grow up watching cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons.
Such a big part of our life.
Actually, that's dated because, there was a time when cartoons only came on for a certain period of time, and then they went off. Now you can get them
24 hours a day.
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
Which means that there's even more of an opportunity, right, for those animators. That sounds like a great, I mean, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, I would love to. Even still, I would love to. I'm just out of practice with drawing and stuff, but, there's always time, I guess.
Always. I mean, that could be a hobby. You never know.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you approach it as a hobby, what that could turn into.
You never know.
We'd love to see it.
And
we
we're
could, we could see credits scrolling on. Well, I don't watch Cartoon Network, but and then Cameron's name is there.
Creator of the show.
She says she doesn't watch Cartoon Network.
No, I don't. My grandchildren don't even watch Cartoon Network. I mean, when my kids were growing up, I mean, that was the thing. But now there are so many options that.
With Netflix and streaming
And then
all that,
on
I mean,
demand.
there's no network anymore.
I know. My grands will come over, the girls, and they'll want to watch Paw Patrol or
Some Disney type things.
that's that's their big one right now is Paw Patrol and Peppa Pig.
Oh yeah, that's
And
a big
so
one.
when they come over and they'll say, I want to watch Paw Patrol, and then I'm going to we just switched to YouTube TV. And it's weird because the channels aren't like numbered. you know.
I think my parents have YouTube TV, and I know what you're talking
It's
about.
just by according
listed,
to
right?
networks, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just listed, and so I have to scroll through to try to get to, because I've learned now where the kids sections are, and so I'm scrolling through and I'm trying to find, you know, the kids stuff,
You can't just like
and
punch in
then
the number.
no, you cannot.
Feels
I mean,
strange.
yeah, I mean you got to go through, and unless it's something I haven't figured out, but
You remember TV Guide?
yes,
You remember the scrolling, all that jazz.
Yeah. And so and then I get there and there's no Peppa Pig and there's no Paw Patrol, and they're like, you just have to turn to it. I'm like, it doesn't work with this that way,
Right.
you know.
You failed them now.
I completely
What
failed
the
them.
heck?
I completely
Where's our
failed them.
Peppa Pig?
Yeah. So yeah, times are different for sure. I think a career that I would want to pursue in another life would be an architect, because I have just
That's
always,
interesting.
I've always
Very.
had a fascination with bridges in particular, how bridges are built, and just, you know, some of them are so beautiful. But then I also have too a deep appreciation for the way that buildings are built, you know, the architecture there, the curves, the lines, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that is completely interesting to me. But I think the one thing that may have really stumped me on that is because I think that there's a lot of math involved in that.
Oh God.
And
You said full stop whenever you
yeah,
said the math.
yeah, for sure. Although I don't know, maybe when you can understand your why, and doing some of that math, it would have made it easier for me to grasp, you know, in the study of architecture. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm only having to learn the math that applies to what I'm doing, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. I don't know.
You know,
But
I love that, and I think, you know, that's not something I don't know about you, Ryan. I didn't expect her to say that, you know, architect. It's just so different from what you do now. And but that is so interesting, especially when you think of architecture of like older buildings.
Yeah.
Because now, you know, sometimes it feels like we're slapping buildings together, you know, like
Slapping
very,
buildings
you know, cheaply
kinda
built
true.
stuff.
I mean,
And
truth.
when it comes to, you know, like the beautiful interior architecture, exterior of like domes and arches and, you know,
Yeah.
that stuff, the classic, you know, American, you know, all kinds of different styles.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
I've
interested in
I've
that,
noticed,
too.
you know, buildings and bridges, you know, just around the world. And it's just, I mean, there's just some really interesting features that are included or designed in those buildings and bridges. And I mean, it's just fascinating to me. But yeah, it's still in the creative space.
That's what I was gonna say. I
Yes,
see the
that's
link
true.
for both of y'all, actually. You
Yeah.
know, in drawing and in architecture, because there's drawing in that.
Yeah, it's still in the creative
That
space.
is true.
I think so. Is that the thing? Our longing to create, to be artists of some sort.
Yeah.
That seems to be the
Compelled to
theme.
create. Mhm.
Because what I would do, and I vacillated on this quite a bit, but I think I'm settling on what I would do if nothing else mattered, and I could just make people happy. Right? What would I do? I have it right here.
Oh, we have a visual aid.
Who wants to go last?
I
Oh my God!
I enjoy
You made
making
these?
confections, pralines being my latest, the latest thing that I really like
Look
to
at
do.
this, y'all.
Oh.
And I've been perfecting that recipe for the last, I don't know, 3 years or so.
Oh, well, we feel really privileged
Oh
that
my
he shared.
So if you like pecans and you like
Oh.
candy, you know,
Yes.
sugars and butters and things like that, then you'll like this.
I am shocked.
I
Did you
know.
Ryan liked to bake? Is that you like to bake?
Well, I guess in an ideal world, I would be great at all the culinary items,
Yeah.
right? Cooking, I can cook some, guys usually grill do something with meat. We can handle that okay,
I
right?
love
So-
grilling.
But and I've baked cookies and things before, but this is more like you would consider it to be candy,
Candy,
right? Because you
yeah.
have to boil it, and then it has to go to a certain temperature. Then the weather has to be right because it's got to set
And that's
and
an
dry.
art. I
It's
mean, it's an
crazy.
art in itself, and it's scientific too.
Yeah, a little scientific. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to measure, and things. And I'm not the biggest fan of having to follow the directions all the time, but I mean, or at least, be precise. But with this, like you said, you have to be pretty precise. I would love for y'all, if y'all want to have some, to try some right now, just to get the reaction live on camera, right? See if I have
Candy
something.
for breakfast.
This is how you do it on a Monday
Ryan,
morning.
you are making
Now,
me
take a good smell
break
first, right?
break my whole dieting thing. I'm trying to. Oh my gosh,
Y'all.
that smells so good.
That is divine. I haven't even taken a
I feel the
bite yet.
butter sliding down on my hips right at this moment.
I'm gonna look
Oh
at this
my
and gain
goodness.
a couple pounds. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm taking a bite.
Now you're gonna have to let that sink in for a second because it's got, hopefully, a variety of things that you taste. Something on the front end and something on the back end.
It's good.
That is delish. Oh my gosh. There's something on the front end. I'm trying to.
It doesn't matter. Hey,
I
just
taste
enjoy
butter.
Yeah.
I mean,
I taste kind of the buttery.
it. Okay.
okay, so tell us what's in it.
That is
It's a family
so good.
secret. No, I'm just kidding. No,
It's good, y'all.
He said love.
Look,
That's the
it-
secret ingredient.
It was made with love. It was made with love. Love.
no, I mean, ultimately, it's sugars, light and dark. It's butter. It's vanilla. It's that kind of thing. Pecans.
Yeah. Is it brown sugar?
You have some brown sugar in there, yeah. I think the most important thing about what I try to do with this is just almost like Papa John's, use the best ingredients, possible. So it's not
The
like
best quality
right?
ingredients.
It's not going to be,
So you
your
don't use
typical,
the fake vanilla.
Right, I use real vanilla, right? Like $10 vanilla extract, not $1.50 vanilla
Ooh,
extract.
yeah.
And the sugars
Got
that
your
you
vanilla
use.
from Mexico.
Right.
Seriously, you can get because I'll wait until we cruise down to Mexico and get my vanilla again because I can get a big bottle for like $5, whereas in the store, and it's real vanilla, but in the store, you're going to get a bottle this size and pay $8-9 for it.
Okay.
So
Ryan, you gotta get these on the market. You gotta start.
Those are really
Ryan
good.
Pearson, the chocolate factory. You
Yeah.
gotta do something.
We're trying. We'll see.
Brian Pearson, the candy factory.
Yeah.
Right. This is my backup plan. Right. If everything else, nothing
If
else works
everything
out,
else goes to pot, then that'll work for you. I tell you what, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
we appreciate
You will be
I
okay.
appreciate
Here's
that.
pralines. There you go.
Oh, hey.
P&P. There we
Yeah.
go. Love
Thank
it.
you. I mean, y'all are the marketing and PR team. I mean,
I'm
gonna be enlisting
You're in good hands. You're in good hands.
Well, that is awesome. I like all of our career choices.
I
Like
do.
we said, they're in the creative space. And if you're watching right now in the chat, drop what you think that you would do in another life. That, if you could start over, what would you go for? That kind of thing. But
And you don't even, we're saying in another life, I'm seeing people change careers. And, and they're, I'm like, Ryan, I'm not old, but I'm seeing people change careers who are older than I am.
Oh, yeah.
And, and they're being so brave about it. I mean, they're just doing it. And so, we're saying in another life, but if it's something you really, really want to do, count the cost and go for it.
absolutely.
Be brave.
Yes, be brave.
I'm not doing the whole architect thing though. there are
Start all the
other
way
I would have to start all the way over.
We have a program. It's a CTE program that might get you started called Drafting and Design.
I took drafting and design classes as part of my undergrad because I didn't start out as an interior design major. I kind of ended up there because I said I wanted to go and study something easy. Then that way I just need to get a degree because this was my plan. I was just going to go to ULM, find an easy program to get a degree in. Then I was going to talk my way into a job. That was my plan.
The truth is coming out.
That was my plan until I took my first speech class and then I saw vision and direction. And I was like, this kind of coincides with what I said. I really would be talking my way into a job.
Exactly.
That is
You
true.
were not kidding.
Yep. Selling yourself.
There you go.
Speaking of student resources, we have quite a few things in the news today. Oh, well, I lost the graphic for the news, but we'll just roll straight into
let's
it.
go.
There you go.
What you have is up.
Yes. So first off, we have Miss Amelia Brister, our fantastic director of the Learning Resource Center and Library.
Yes.
She has gotten us $40,000 for learning resources and library resources. Let's see, from the Lewis Initiative, correct?
That's correct.
So, the Lewis Initiative involves collaborating with libraries and faculty to decrease student expenses on education by lowering the prices of instructional materials through the adoption of affordable education resources, open education resources, and similar open access materials. So it guarantees that students can access course materials equitably from the outset of their classes as textbook delays, often experienced when ordered through bookstores, are mitigated.
Yeah, the big thing about that is that students and faculty will be able to access some free resources. Students are guaranteed that they'll be able to have their resources for the start of the first day, and they won't have to be held up, because sometimes when you order books from the bookstore, you can experience delays, and so this guarantees that there won't be any delays, and they'll be able to jump right in there on the first day, and plus gives teachers access to resources as well.
And speaking of
Resources.
folks that have resources, and
Resources.
there not being any delay, we have a guest on set with us right now who just popped in.
Yep.
Woo!
Hey,
How do
hey.
you like that?
Well, good morning, Miss Liz
Welcome.
Ford.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here.
Right.
Glad you made time for us in your important world of all the things to do,
Yes,
CTE wise.
Yes. I'm excited
And-
about things that's forthcoming.
Well, and we're going to talk about those things in just a little bit. We're going to let Cameron move on and finish out the news segment, and we got a couple of other segments, and then we're going to hear more from Miss Liz Ford.
Ooh, all right.
And so just to say thank you and awesome work, Amelia, for getting this grant and working hard to get our students those resources that they need. We appreciate your dedication. And next up, we have a new position that's been filled. Nathan Hall is the new Dean of Enrollment.
Congratulations, Nathan.
I love how you put this together. That was nice.
Thank you. We love to see it, like Ryan said. We got Nathan Hall, who was previously the campus director of the West Monroe campus, sliding into this new position with confidence and elegance. I think he's going to do a great job,
Some
and
nice
we're
words.
wishing him all the best.
We wish him well because we need him to succeed, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
No pressure. And we also have another position that's been filled. Miss Crystal Gaines
Whoop,
is our
whoop,
new
Crystal!
director of
Yay!
financial aid.
Congratulations!
This is one I didn't know. This is a surprise, but I'm happy to see it.
Yes,
Right.
congratulations,
Fantastic.
Crystal.
Yes.
She is our new director of financial aid.
Ooh.
And she's been our interim for a couple months now, I think. But,
Yeah.
she's been doing a great job, and we're glad that she's getting this position permanently. And congratulations. I'm so excited for you,
Yes.
Crystal.
Yes.
And after that, rolling on into, we have Dr. Danita Potter. We want to say thank you so much for
Yes.
all that you have contributed at LDCC. And farewell. We wish you well in all of your future endeavors.
Yeah, I think the 14th actually is her last day here on campus, and she will move on to some different things. And she already had a lot going on in her other life, but I'm not quite sure what she's moving on to. But Dr. Potter, we wish you well. We thank you for your service
Yes,
here and
thank you.
everything that you brought to LDCC. You will be missed, and your efforts here are deeply appreciated.
Yes, thank you so much. And with that, we will move on to our In Case You Missed It section.
I hear you. Yeah. There you go.
So, first
Having a
up-
little studio fun with Liz here this morning. She's not quite sure how all of this is working.
Gotta
This is
initiate the
this is our
newbie.
program right here.
And the
Okay,
cameras
what's on
are
the screen?
right there for you.
Okay.
Yep. First up, and in case you missed it, y'all, we have a lot, so buckle up. We have FastFoot Frenzy that happened last Wednesday on the 6th. So this was at LDCC Monroe, and Miss Crystal Gaines headed up this event with just absolute valor. We appreciate her doing that for us.
On that FAFSA frenzy bit, so she said in college council, or announced in college council meeting that we just had, that they are the financial aid department. They are going to be hosting events on our different campuses. So that wasn't like the one and done
Excellent.
event. They're going to be traveling around to, to have this at the various campuses. So Monroe isn't the only campus that will have that sort of event. And it's a good thing, too, because I've been seeing headline after headline talking about the utter confusion,
Oh my gosh,
behind
yes.
the rollout of the FAFSA,
Yeah.
And I say that with a grain of salt, y'all, because we're in an election season, and honestly, y'all, I don't know how much is truth and how much is hype. I mean, but nevertheless, I'm glad our people are vigilant and they're thinking ahead and they're planning to make these rounds to the different campuses to help students to walk through the FAFSA. So whatever it is or whatever it isn't, our people are there in place to be an asset to our community. So that's what's important, and to us and to our students.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We're glad that this inaugural FAFSA Frenzy happened at Monroe, and it will continue to happen across the Northeast region at our locations. There's a great turnout at this one of just high school students and adult learners alike who came to get help with TOPS. That LOSFA representative who came also gave a lot of information out for high school students. So we we appreciate them. Next up, we have something a little fun. We had our Mardi Gras parade.
Aren't
at
they
the Children's
adorable?
Center.
Oh my gosh.
This should have like 5 slides of this. I mean,
Right,
it's
right.
So cute.
It was hard not to. It was so hard to pick a photograph.
Oh my
y'all.
gosh.
But there is a video of that I did for Facebook and Instagram. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. They are adorable. Just
Right.
adorable.
And it was so cool to see everyone lined up on the hall, so that they had an actual audience, as they
Yes.
were walking down the hall. I mean, it was so cool.
It
That
was
was
a-
really neat. Thank y'all for those who came down and gave them support, and that. Thank you for doing that.
And thank you, Miss Sandy Clausen, for putting it all together as the head of CDYC and
Yes.
all of your staff.
Yes.
Truly incredible, truly a wonderful time. And we look forward to more from the CDYC department.
Absolutely.
And then next up, we have something else a little fun. So we mentioned in our Let Me Tell You a couple weeks ago that Dr. Deborah Jackson was the Mardi Gras queen.
Honey, she was the queen.
As you
Okay.
can see on screen,
She was the queen.
She was decked out. Just gorgeous. This is for the Monroe Metropolitan Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So I wanted to also shout them out.
Yeah, because we had pictures of Crescentio Jackson and Alicia Jones were also part of that court, and that was a very big honor for them as well. And I think we had pictures of them, but or we showed pictures. Did we not show images of them?
I
I think
don't
we
think
had a
so.
graphic up that had their names.
Yes,
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
that from their Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, I should have brought. Okay, well, we'll have to show that the next time.
I'll
Yeah,
make a note. To
we're
do that.
we're equal opportunity showers. Yeah, so we'll show their picture next week.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
but they were beautiful.
Oh, I bet. Congratulations to them. I love Mardi Gras. It's just so fun to see the glitz and glamour of it all. And it's Mardi Gras tomorrow, Fat Tuesday itself.
That's right.
So we look forward to celebrating that. Next up, esports had their first scrimmage game ever in the history of esports.
We did it.
Knights esports. Woohoo!
And I hear that they got off to a really great start.
Yes, it was a W.
Yes.
Win.
Yes.
Big win.
So it was my understanding they played against Pratt Community College. That's in Kansas, and they were the Beavers. So this was for their Overwatch team. So congratulations to Rusty, Jeremy, Blair, Kai, Juan, and Nick for their big W.
And shout
So
out
they
to,
were the competitors, huh?
Yeah, and shout out to the coach of the esports
Yes,
team too.
Mr.
Yeah,
Dennis.
he's up there. I got a good picture of him when he wasn't looking. So
Mr. Dennis as well. Congratulations, starting off strong.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the Knights overtook the Beavers.
Woohoo! We're gonna have to start having pep rallies. And
Yeah.
stuff, 'cause I just get hyped about it just thinking about it.
We know who's competitive at this table.
Gotta get my Delta Knight shirt on, and I'll be like, woo! Yeah, awesome job, esports Overwatch team. Next up, we had Community Resource Fair in Monroe, which Miss Liz Ford is
Well.
here. She helped head up this
Yeah,
event.
she can talk about that
Yeah.
part herself.
Yes, it was an amazing event that we had on the 7th. We had over 30 vendors to come out. It was for our students, a great retention effort, and it was open to the community. We had mental health services, psychological services that were free for the community. So I thought it was a great opportunity to have that presented here on campus for the community and our students as well.
Yeah, we pulled a couple of vendors in to do some sit-down interviews. Yeah, and so we'll be able to share that because I thought as we walked around, different things, caught my ear, like the Christopher Youth House.
Yes.
I didn't realize that they served adults, 18 to 24, who are homeless, and I felt like that was something that would be beneficial for our college-wide body to know and to be aware of, because sometimes we do come across students who are homeless.
Right.
And so, and we're looking to find, what resources are, is out there, what resources are out there to help them, that we can direct them to. So we know now Christopher Youth House is one of them.
Correct. And there's so many other resources that are in the area in Northeast Louisiana and throughout that many people do not know about. And I
For
thought it was a
sure.
great opportunity to introduce those services for the holistic approach for our students.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you
And-
for your efforts on that. It was
Absolutely.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I, speaking to many individuals that day, it was the sentiment that, this was there's a difference between a job fair and this community resource fair, because, you might have your job, but do you have the resources to hold down that job, to take care of yourself, your mental health, to take care of your family? With community resources like this being more available to students who are trying to get off their, trying to get up on their feet and everything, I think that, this was just such an incredible event. And it was also in collaboration with Louisiana Workforce
Yes.
Commission, right?
Yes.
So,
It was a great partnership.
yes, absolutely.
And we thank them for choosing to partner with LDCC. I mean, we appreciate that. There are many of us who are operating in our lanes, and we're accomplishing some things. But when we partner, we build capacity, and we're able to do so much more. So we definitely appreciate the partnerships.
Absolutely. And speaking of partnerships, our barber styling students in West Monroe went out to West Monroe High School this past Wednesday and were cutting hair for the ROTC students, which they do. Y'all, we didn't even know how much they did whenever it came to their community service efforts. They're cutting hair at the senior center, cutting hair at the high schools, cutting hair
Even at elementary schools.
elementary schools. I mean, and doing this for free for students and community members.
And
so
they didn't
get
just
their hours.
And they didn't just start doing this. I mean, they've been doing this for some years. And so shout out to Tracy Blackstock, who heads the barber styling department. She is phenomenal.
You know, they don't just cut out in the community. They don't just go to places. I mean,
Wow.
you can go to their shop
Yeah.
on the
'Cause
Western
I've-
Road campus.
Yep, because I've gotten mine trimmed.
And yours truly, if you go back in time,
Ah!
last episode I was wild and woolly and bushy, and now I have a clean
They
cut.
hooked you up.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you for cutting my
They
hair.
really are great.
Appreciate you so much if you're watching.
And the instructors, Tracy and
Mike.
Tracy and Mike are wonderful. And I was at West Monroe High School when they were cutting hair for the ROTC students. And the care that Tracy and Mike took in standing with each of the students, making sure that, you know, that they were learning as they were doing. And I mean, just patient and kind. And I mean, there was one student, I mean, she was so uber nervous, you know, and Tracy was standing with her, and Tracy was just, you know, just soft-spoken and just talking with her and helping her to build her confidence. She knew exactly how to engage this student, you know, and Mike was, you know, in his Mike way, you know, going around and, you know, and pumping up and encouraging his students and showing them, you know, just, you know, all the little tips and tricks and the right way, the wrong way. And I mean, they're just great. I mean,
fantastic.
I wouldn't mind going to barber styling school, because I mean, they just make it feel like such a welcoming, safe environment to learn, and that means a lot.
Yes.
And the students were singing their praises too. I mean, they knew what they had in instructors. And so, yeah, so great job, Tracy. Great job, Mike.
Yes. Props to the barber styling program. We appreciate y'all.
Another CTE program. Wink.
Yes.
Wink. And we just did a video on that for our CTE program video campaign. So
Yes,
go check
yes,
it out.
yes.
Go check it out.
I mean, this department at LDCC is truly putting out some incredible
Content.
on all the social media platforms. So, and you know, plugging you two and the team that y'all are is really excellent.
I'm agreeing
Enjoy
with
it.
you, brother.
Yeah.
She's like, I feel it in my sleep. you
I
know?
feel it in my soul.
Oh, coming up next, we have our gold program who got to go visit LCTCS and a Baton Rouge day trip. Y'all, they had to leave at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Good for them. You know, we appreciate their hard work and dedication to that program because they're growing to be leaders, and it's important for them to have these experiences and go out and meet new people. So we have a couple pictures from that event, a group photograph with Dr. Monty Sullivan. Chancellor Randy Esters was there too, and they had a good time and went out to eat too. So that's
Yeah,
a good
they're
thing.
rounding out their gold year because they will complete their year next month. They'll present and do their projects that they've worked on. I'm not sure how long they've been working on their projects, but they're going to present
Sure, a long time.
next month. And so, so that'll round out their year. And kudos to Deanne,
Yes.
campus director, Deanne.
At Winsboro, yeah.
Yeah, at
Because
Winsboro.
This was her baby.
It really was. And I mean, I think, having the foresight to take or make a space for those who want to aspire to leadership positions and give them the training ground to prepare for it, because companies fail. A lot of companies fail in that capacity. They fail to create a pathway for success and for higher positions for those who want to attain them, and so Deanne carved out this space, and it's really a great idea. And I think the experiences that they've had over this year that they've been a part of this program has been invaluable to them, because they've gotten a chance to learn so much. And you think you know, because you do a job well, you think you know how to lead a section or department or people, and you don't, without fully knowing the scope of what that leadership entails. And so this was a way for them to be able to touch those things and begin to see the bigger picture, that there is a bigger picture, that there is life outside of that one spot or one area in which you may aspire to lead. So yeah, kudos, Deanne. That was really great.
I was ready to say what gold was, but you basically said it.
Yeah, encapsulated it.
I mean, you, wow,
There we
our
go.
fearless leader on the show here. Yeah, excellent, excellent. And just on one note, it's staff who don't currently have leadership roles that were pegged for this program. So again, trying to bring those that maybe they might have just started out or they may have been here for a while, but there's hope, there's promise in their potential, in their future. Gold is there for them, and they've done a lot. Job shadowing, mentoring, book study, personal leadership plans, and so on. I just wanted to add that in. So again, kudos to y'all, all the Gold members, and kudos to Deanne again.
Liz, how long have you been with LDCC?
February 6th made a year. So last week,
Okay.
it was my workversary.
That's a great
So-
day to have your workversary on that.
You
community
and
resource
Cameron
fair.
are both relatively new to the college.
Yes.
What does it say to you all to be a part of a program like that? What does it say about the organization and how they see you for that opportunity to exist for you?
Okay, so I'm not a part of Gold.
No, but just saying that it
There is
exists.
that opportunity
Okay,
for you.
It's an investment in the staff, and it reaches out to like, okay, these are the possibilities, and it gets you excited. I see the things that the Gold members do. I see how much they're excited about it, and it makes me want to get on board. Like, okay, do I start in March or April? Where do I sign up? Kind of thing,
Right.
you know. So it's just exciting to see how excited they are in the investments that Deanne and the effort that she puts into the program. So
Yeah.
it's something that I would look forward to doing as far as like being a leader here at LDCC.
Good deal.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And when it comes to, investment in your people, that says something
Yeah.
about a corporation or, the person you're working for. It says, hey, we care about you. We don't care just about, what you bring to the table or, how hard you work or, those things are important, but we also care about you. We know you have potential, and we're going to take the time to invest in you. That it's personal,
Yeah.
and it really it speaks to you and makes you feel closer to the mission, and it makes you feel closer to the people around you that you're working with, because a lot of sometimes you see coworkers as coworkers, but it's a lot more than that. We're all interconnected. We all work together towards a common goal, and Gold really encompasses that and highlights that so that you feel more connected to everybody in the college, and it just means a lot. It means a lot. So I agree with you. I think it's really special that we have this program here.
That's awesome. And that was not a question that we planned to cover, but I did want to ask you all that because I want Deanne and all of our leadership to understand what having this opportunity
Very important.
to our employees mean and what it communicates, and it fosters loyalty to the institution. You feel a part of it.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right.
And then finally, this was our news section, y'all. We had in case you missed it in news, we had so much. I wish y'all could see this list. It is large, but we're finally looking towards the light at the end of the tunnel. We just wanted to highlight the peeps who went to the Momentum conference last week.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for going out and doing that and absorbing that.
Yeah, they should be bringing back some new things. That Momentum conference was focused on the student experience, specific choices, pathways, milestones, and engagements. So,
And continuing to combine or to make the link between our college and student outcomes and workforce and so on. How do we do a better job of talking to business and industry and connecting those dots as well? All that.
that's
wrapped up in
great.
Momentum.
So, I'm looking forward to seeing what they've learned play out in the things that we do. I know there was a great group of people who went. And so, yeah, I'm excited to hear from them. I know I got an email from Gwen Hall talking about it, and she was really hyped. So anytime our people are hyped and excited about what they've learned, we can look for great things to come from it.
Absolutely. That shapes up our news section. We'll come into upcoming events. So first up,
You want to remix that, right?
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Ricky.
Okay, yeah, I like it. First
That's
up,
another area of her creativity that she's kept hidden.
oh yeah, I'm
boundless
secretly a
over there.
DJ, obviously. First up, we have a Black History Month program coming up on Valentine's Day this Wednesday at Ruston. So we have featured guest speaker Prentice Smiley, and it'll be from 11:30 to 12:30 in Ruston. I'm guessing they're going to provide lunch as well. They usually do when it's around lunchtime like that. But we're excited to see the Black History program starting to come to light at different campuses. So I think this is the first one this month from
Yeah.
LDCC.
I want to send a shout out to Naja because she's so diligent and faithful and committed to quality when she puts her hands to anything. And a lot of what you see that comes out of Ruston comes through the hands of Naja. And so kudos to you, Naja,
great.
for a job well done
Absolutely. And
over a period of time. I mean, she's
Yes.
proven that excellence is a part of her name.
And more specifically, I mean, she gets everything in early. I mean, everything.
Yeah,
she
on our
plans
end.
things so in advance.
Yes.
I have to schedule things to go out because it can't go out too early. So, yeah, absolutely. Specifically in that department of planning things and being diligent about hitting every event that needs to be hit. Great job, Naja. Next, we also have, we don't have a graphic for this, but Barber Styling, we mentioned that they go to elementary schools as well. They will be going to an elementary school this week.
Okay.
So
Never
we don't
been.
want to get
They're
into
staying
specifics,
busy.
But yes,
Very.
they are. I think they have something going on at least once a week, for the foreseeable future. So we'd love to see it.
I want to say this about that. We talk about, being present in our communities. Tracy is doing it.
Naturally, right.
She is doing it. I mean, she's out there. People see LDCC because her students are out there. And so we appreciate that. And they're out there regularly, as you said.
That is so important.
She's
Yes.
so invested in her students and, like you say, the community, and it's natural for her because she enjoys it.
And you can tell she enjoys it.
Right.
Absolutely. In another community open to the community event, we have another digital literacy workshop coming up. Miss Felicia Rogers, again, is doing those. She has gotten those lined up, too. She's been really great about scheduling those and making those happen for our communities.
And she's moving around to all of the campuses, which is
Yes.
great. Because we're making sure we're equitable in that and making sure that all of our campuses have access to these resources. So she's doing an excellent job of moving those workshops around.
Felicia gets a mention every episode. You realize this?
She really does, but
We
she's
just
doing
love
a
her.
lot. Well, and she's doing a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So
And so that's on February 15th from 1 to 3 p.m. at LDCC Bastrop in room 115. And like I said last episode, if you're interested in hosting one of these workshops, she does financial workshops too, please call her at the contact number on the screen, to let her know, hey, I want to host this, wherever I'm at in the Northeast region. And then next up, this is, we're having a really special guest to help us talk about this today, but LDCC Day is coming up February 27th and 28th. And so we're excited that we get to get the inside scoop with
Big
Ms. Liz.
event. Huge event. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's on you.
Okay, so LDCC.
Okay, go ahead.
As mentioned, LDCC Day will be on February 27th and 28th. It is a huge recruitment event We have middle school students as well as high school students coming out to see what LDCC has to offer. All the various programs will be on site. The students will have the opportunity to talk to instructors as well as current students and have a hands-on experience with the programs. As of right now, we have RSVP'd 1,300 students
That's
for
phenomenal.
Wow.
both days. So the counselors are excited about it. The adults and chaperones that will be attending are excited, as well as the students. So last year was my first year. I was here about a week, and I
I
experienced the LDCC
remember
day.
you were brand new.
Right,
Oh, I
right.
remember
So,
that.
My eyes were big, open. I was excited about seeing more about the program because I was very, very new first week to the school. So it was awesome for me, as well as to see the look on the students' faces and seeing what they actually learned from the event, because they completed surveys and we got very positive feedback from the chaperones as well as the students.
Good.
Yes, and the faculty and staff. So we're looking forward to it.
Always a fun
What a
time.
great time, though, for you to come on board and come right into that activity, because it also afforded you an opportunity to learn, too, about what the college had to offer.
Absolutely.
Right off
Basically
the
a student
bat.
at that point.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And it was a recruitment experience for me as well, because I recruit pretty much 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So to actually have that hands-on experience myself going in, it's just like, okay, I feel comfortable knowing more about the programs, hearing from the instructors, and talking to the current students. So just seeing and experiencing that for myself, as well as talking to the high school students, even middle school students, seeing what they think about LDCC and the programs.
Good deal. What do you need? How can other people help it within the college? Is there a volunteer sign up? I mean, what do we need to, do you need help outside of the instructors and your CTE coordinators? What's needed?
Okay, so currently we have a great team. Hannah Ron, who's the dual enrollment specialist, she's phenomenal with organizing this event. She was last year with me first coming in, so she's pretty much spearheading.
Whoop, whoop,
it.
Hannah.
Hannah is awesome.
Shout
Nathan Hall, the most recent congratulatory position that he has,
Yeah.
and Matthew Napier. We're a great team, committee. We have an RSVP list going around, so a lot of
Okay.
faculty and staff have signed up. The various divisions and deans, and we're getting things in place currently, and we will have a meeting on this Friday just to ensure that things are in place. Again, we're an organized team that works well together, and we're looking forward to an exciting event. So on the 27th and 28th, we'll have the simulator out. The various CTE programs that will be out, and having heavy support on campus means a lot.
Good deal. So faculty and staff, if you have not signed up, please consider doing so. This is an all hands on deck event, and besides that, it just wouldn't be the same without you. You can volunteer for a segment of time or for the whole day, excuse me, if you can give it. So was that form emailed out to?
Yes, it was emailed out to all faculty and staff. It was emailed out again on last Friday. And if you need it, please contact me or Hannah. We'll definitely get you the additional information that you need.
Good
and like
deal.
you said, if you want to work in segments, you can. We have 9 through 10, 10 to 11, 11 through 12. But please come stay all day and enjoy the potential students and provide all the information and enjoy the fun with everybody those 2 days.
What are
That's
your thoughts
it.
about middle school students? You know, we always think we're trying to recruit secondary, we're trying to recruit high school, and then we have middle school students coming in as well. What are your thoughts on that?
Now, when I graduated, right out of undergrad, I taught second grade. So I'm invested in elementary and lower grades. So I believe you can never start too early learning about college and what you want to do. That age-old question, what do I want to do when I grow up? And it's okay if you don't know, because you have high school students that don't know, even college students. So I
Right.
believe, like, if you see what's right here in front of you in this area, it's like, okay, well, I want to attend this school and learn about the program. 'Cause
Yeah.
Come your 7th grade year, 8th grade year as well. Ask questions and feel comfortable asking those questions, even if it's a tour at your school or LDCC day. I encourage students to come out and parents to bring your child on an individual tour, so it's never too early to start.
I completely agree. It's never too early to start. You know, from a marketing perspective, when you think of, schools that I can go to after I graduate high school, every person has, a list that pops up in their mind of the schools around them and different schools that they're aware of. And it's important for LDCC to be close to the top of that list, right? They want to, leave that as an option, have that in their evoked set of like what comes to mind when they think of that. And so the more they experience things at LDCC, the more events they go to, the more they're aware of the programs. I mean, that's going to stick in their minds more, and that way they know of their options and they're aware of the resources, like you said.
Exactly. We want to keep LDCC on the forefront. Like, okay, this is what's offered, and what's the pros of attending LDCC right here at home. So I mention that to students all the time in our recruitment efforts, and I see a light goes off when I mention certain things, like, oh, okay, I never thought about that. And these are juniors and seniors in high school.
Yeah, and the more they see it, the more it'll stick.
Absolutely.
It's a lot that they haven't thought about, that they don't even know about. And we are a gold mine. I mean, when you come during LDCC Day and see everything under one roof, everything represented under one roof of what we're able to offer, it is impressive. And to boot, these kids, they don't know about some of these occupations, some of these careers. Their minds haven't even been opened or enlightened to it. They know about the regular stuff, but a lot of these other things, they have no idea that they could actually have a career in some of these things and make really good living at it as well. And so that to me is the highlight of LDCC, because it opens their minds to be able to dream. Some of them don't even know how to dream. Don't even, they don't know. They don't know how they're going to, and they're kids, and so a lot of it they're not thinking about anyways. It's just, I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that because, that's the thing that sounds good. That's the thing that sounds calm. Yeah, or, yes. But to make it personal, for them to be able to come and to interact with the different things, to experience it.
That's a memory.
And it's personal. It's personal to them. And they can determine for themselves, I like that, or I did not like that. But it's their experience, and that will stick with them. And you're right, we're creating a memory that hopefully, they won't be able to shake, and hopefully we'll see them when it's time for them to be able to transition from high school. Well, even in high school, taking dual enrollment courses.
Yeah, right. And it opened up doors for that as well. And like you mentioned, a word of experience. So I look at tours and visits to the campuses, and even LDCC Day, it goes beyond a field trip. I like to call it experiences that they'll remember. So when we go to schools now, it's just like, oh, I remember when I came for LDCC Day or this tour.
Yeah.
I mean, something was impactful. So it's a one-stop shop for LDCC Day. Everything's under one roof.
Yeah.
So they can ask questions and even open doors to new opportunities for career choices.
And then as far as employees go, you were, asking them to come out, just to be a part of it. It's also such a great way to connect with employees from other campuses too. I mean, I enjoy that whenever we have LDCC Day, and I get to see people from other campuses here because we don't see each other often. And it makes you feel like you're part of something bigger than your individual self, than your individual department. And you really get a chance to get a global view of how we work all together. And that is the thing that will keep you getting up every day to come to work, even when you don't feel like it, because you remember that you're impacting lives and that you have the ability to impact lives and generations and neighborhoods and, whole regions. I mean, it's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so enough of the commercial for LDCC. It's such
We're
a,
excited about it. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful opportunity for our children.
I can't remember which one of the comedians said, it's a beautiful thing, but
Right.
it is. It's a beautiful thing.
And we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So thank you all for everyone who signed up. And if you haven't, please volunteer.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I feel like we should also ask Liz one of our fun questions before we move on.
Okay.
Let's see. We had that list that Ryan had. What do we
While
want
you're
to
thinking
ask?
about it, I'm going to shoot one out.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, Liz, who is Elizabeth Ford?
Ooh.
Who am I? Director of CTE programs in high school.
No, that's the easy answer. That's the easy answer.
Stock.
That's
answer.
the easy answer. That's what you do.
Right, but that's not who I am. That's just a small snippet. But I believe I'm a servant. Number one, when I describe myself, the first thing, my foundation in faith. That's who I am, and it's growing stronger. And I realize my purpose is community. And so I know that this position and what I do for a living is a small snippet of my God-given purposes. So I enjoy working with children, defining their purposes, as well as young adults or whomever I come in contact with. So I'm about community, church involvement, and everything of that nature to fulfill those purposes.
Why are you so heavily rooted in community, and what is it about community that moves you?
Well, I grew up in a household with my parents were invested in the community, so I saw.
Who are your parents?
Dr. Laverne Gunford and Jerry Ford. So I'm born and raised in Monroe. My mom, well, both of my parents were educators. They were both actively involved in the community and churches. So my brother and I, we really didn't have a choice, being younger now. But now it's just like we're both actively involved. So I would see it no other way. So honestly, when I saw this position, I read it, I was like, oh, you know what? It's back home in Monroe, and it's community. So that's where that community resource fair came from. I reached out to Louisiana Workforce Commission, and I believe in partnerships and meeting new people. I don't mind talking to people. So even when I go out in the community or retail stores, I believe you're selling your product 7 days a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you come in contact with people, like I was at a retail store over the weekend grabbing something last minute, and I was talking to the person checking me out, and I was talking about LDCC. She wants to go back to school. I talked about what CTE is, and it's just seeing the excitement in her eyes, gave her my card, personal sale, hey, reach out to me.
Yeah.
So just knowing that goes beyond what I get paid to do because I'm invested in it.
It's a part of who you are.
Exactly.
And it kind of makes it not feel like work. I know some of the administrative stuff reminds you that it's work, but doing the job makes it feel less like work.
Right.
Because it's who you are. It hits the core of who you are.
Right. So I can just hit the ground running. And I enjoy working with my colleagues.
Yeah.
From various divisions and the ones that I work with every day. So I wouldn't even consider it a job because I enjoy doing it.
I know we have some awesome people here at LDCC and very gifted in what they are doing here. And I'm with you. I get a lot of joy out of working with our people.
Yes, we have very talented faculty and staff here.
We do.
Invested.
We do. That really care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will say, seeing you in action last Wednesday, Liz does really know a lot of people in the community. She, would be talking to someone and they would mention a name and she would say, oh, that's my friend, or oh, that's my cousin.
Right,
just in every conversation I heard, you had that networking ability to kind of connect the dots for people. And that's a special talent too. I can tell it comes natural to you. And knowing your upbringing and being in the community, everything, that makes a lot of sense. So that is amazing. And the question I'm going to ask you is, if you were famous, what do you think you would be famous for?
Well, I don't have this talent, okay? But
You gonna put that
like,
disclaimer out there?
If you could.
Singing, like
Oh,
superstar
yeah.
Gotcha.
Like I got excited last night watching the halftime, so I would say superstar status.
Gotcha. You'd be playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You'd be like with Usher singing.
I'll be up there.
Okay.
Like
She'd
Aaron
be
Adams and
a
Beyonce.
headliner, right? That's what you
Right.
said.
That is awesome. Yeah. I'm yeah. Yeah.
That seems like the funnest
A
thing to be
wish.
famous for.
So again, I don't have those talents, but that'd be something I would want to do.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think Miss Liz Ford is going to hang on with us for the rest of the episode and be a co-host, so we appreciate that. We're going to move on to Let Me Tell You.
All right. It's all good.
I don't know why the music's not playing. Sorry, y'all.
Well, Liz is staying with us, and Ryan is making an exit, a quick exit to check that out real quick. All right, so let me tell you, it's all about workforce today.
Woohoo! We have, first of all, St. Joseph. They're doing an HEO course in St.
Yeah, in
Joe.
St. Joseph Parish. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so glad every time I hear a different location that we're doing a workforce site in. I'm just so proud that we're reaching every corner of the Northeast region.
Yeah, and we're going to be pushing out more about what Workforce is doing because probably like many of you, I know that they're doing things, but just didn't know quite what they're doing. So John and I are going to make sure that I'm definitely up to date in where they are and what they're doing. But yeah, so they're hosting a class in St. Joe, an heavy equipment operators class. And he says that this isn't the first one, so they've been able to conduct a few of these, and they have all gone to work. So, the training is important. Employment is even better.
Yes.
So kudos to John Garrison and that whole workforce department. They are really running like a well-oiled machine. So kudos to you all.
Yep.
All right, Ryan, come on back through.
It's no secret.
So we had something else happening in workforce.
Yes, in workforce, we have last week on Thursday, Polk Mill Services came to Stephen Heidenreich's workforce class, which is the CNC machine.
Right.
It's a 5-week course, and I think he had 4 students there who are almost done with the course. They're about to graduate, and the Polk Mill Services representatives came to meet these students and set up interviews with them, basically. They were just talking, getting to know one another. The students were demonstrating what they, learned over the course, and the representatives I was there whenever it was happening. They seemed very interested in these students. So hopefully it's another round of workforce that are going to get employed right out the gate. And Polk Mill Services is right down the road. So that's a really great partnership that we have within that. Thank you to Mr. Steve for nurturing that partnership and, having those connections in the community.
Yeah, that's so important. And I tell you, one thing that's consistent about the workforce classes is that students are highly complimentary of their instructors.
Yes.
And so I'm consistently hearing about students feeling like instructors are invested in them and invested in their learning and their future.
And y'all, that's amazing because it's a 5-week course. They didn't know Mr. Steve before the course started, but to feel that close, feel like they have that Mr. Steve is personally invested in them and their careers. After just a week of knowing them, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I've heard that as well with John's students.
Awesome.
And like you said, for them, to continually invest in partnerships to ensure that our students have somewhere that they can hand them off to someone in the community who will employ them and hopefully provide a better life, a means to a better life for them is awesome.
And having a smooth transition into that, having this kind of guided transition to that job is really important. So, you don't feel like you're just thrown to the wolves. It's just you have that support of LDCC and support of from the industry and from the Polk Mill Services. They were talking to the students about how they're going to invest in them. This workforce course is the basic, learning the foundational stuff for this industry. And once they're under Polk Mill Services umbrella, they grow them. They train them in more and more, and that's where, they're getting paid to get trained in more to make themselves more marketable. All these
so the investment
transitions.
continues. That is amazing.
Yes.
Awesome. Great job, workforce. And I'm going to throw in, it was something else I should have written it down that I was thinking in the let me tell you, a press release will be going out about this week. The CNA testing center.
Yes.
We didn't add that, but we need to talk about that.
Yes.
So y'all.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you. We have a CNA testing center in Bastrop. They do testing for our students, but they also do external testing as well. So if any of the hospitals or the medical facilities, need some of their people to be tested, we can do that at that Bastrop campus. Like I said, a press release will be going out about that earlier. They've just started the testing. Antonio is heading up that charge there, and if there are any questions, you can reach out to him regarding those. But look for a press release to be posted on our website about midweek, about Wednesday.
Absolutely. And this will go hand in hand with our CNA programs existing. These students can go through the programs and then get tested, at LDCC. So thank y'all so much for all the work that y'all put into this new testing.
Yeah, and be on the lookout too for today's Week at a Glance, because a lot of these things will be discussed in further detail in Week at a Glance. We got a lot coming at you this week.
Love to see it.
All right.
Next is a little bit of history.
All right, a little bit of history. So when I dug into this one, I dug into it for one reason, but found some, let me tell you, T.
Is it hot?
After it is hot. After I dipped off into it. So this is, I guess this is a little bit of some extra for the people who
See what I
decides
did
to
here?
sit all the way
Across
through.
my legs. We're relaxed. Everybody just relax. Get your coffee.
Ready to
Get your tea, because, honey, I'm bringing it this morning. Okay, so I thought about, this week being Valentine's Day. So I thought, what can I do around Valentine's Day under the theme of Black history? And so I thought about Etta James' song "At Last" because
song.
people have used it for weddings. I mean, it is like the ultimate, romance song, And so when I dug deeper into Etta James, one of the things that I saw, it was under financial under online financial magazine too.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and give you the tea. Okay, so Etta James cut this track back in, early, 1941. It was a whole album, but that was and quite a few of the songs on there went out as successful singles, and At Last was like the biggest one. So this article starts off, and this was written early last year, with "She can't stand Beyonce."
What? Wait a minute.
It is so oh my God.
Yes, and here's why. So she signed off on Beyonce playing her in the movie Cadillac Records when they were following the career of the legendary label Chess Records. And so she approved Beyonce to play her in this particular movie, in which, of course, Beyonce was going to have to sing, At Last, because, that was the song that kind of put Etta James on the map. Well, that was fine and good until Barack and Michelle Obama invited Beyonce to the White House to sing it at their inaugural celebration, and it was the first dance. And so Etta said, who was she to go and sing her song? But here's the kicker, y'all. Although Etta James recorded the definitive version of At Last, because this is the one that everybody knows, that everybody remembers, the song was actually written by Ace Hollywood songwriting duo Mac Gordon and Harry Warren for the Glenn Miller Band to play in the 1941 rom-com Sun Valley Serenade. So it was really written by those two guys to be a part of the movie Sun Valley Serenade, but they didn't actually they ended up not actually using the song because it was the soundtrack for the movie was already so jam-packed with other songs, which y'all two may not remember. I don't even know if Ryan remember. Chattanooga Choo Choo was a part of, was one of the big hits from that, one of the big songs from that particular movie. So they only played a little bit of the instrumental version of At Last. But then Etta James came back and sang it and put it on the map. Now, since then, that album has been covered more than 40 times. More than 40 times. Yes. And so, anyway, so that is Etta James singing At Last, probably the most beloved love song that has withstood the test of time. Put that song on the map. It wasn't her song, even though she referred to it as Beyonce singing her song. It wasn't technically her song, even though she was the one who pushed it out there, kind of like Whitney Houston with Dolly Parton's song, although
Yes.
Dolly Parton wasn't salty about Whitney taking it to the next level.
Dolly was getting paid. So
Yeah,
She didn't care.
She didn't
either
care.
way.
She didn't care. Yeah, but Whitney put that song on the map, though.
You got to think about how many times that probably happens in the music industry.
It happens all the time. Although the remakes of those songs aren't always better than the original.
So
but
are we saying that Beyonce sang it better than Etta? Is that what
I'm not going there. I am not. I am not going there because Beyonce has her talent and Etta has hers, but I'm gonna pay homage to Etta James. Yes, I'm gonna pay homage to Etta James. So, and she passed away some years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but she didn't pass away before she made it known that she did not appreciate that.
Well, that was a serving of tea with a side of beef between Beyonce and Etta James. So, wow, that is crazy.
And Beyonce opened up her tour with one of her tours with singing.
So she
At Last, she was like in a big bright yellow costume. I mean, honey. But Etta James was also dead by then too. So,
gotcha.
No bite there. So.
But like you say, it's a song that stands the test of time throughout generations.
Yeah, I mean,
really
I mean, it was beautiful. The guys wrote that track in 1941, but I don't remember when Etta James actually dropped that single.
If it's any consolation, my father is a music lover. He loves music, all types. And I remember him introducing me to the Glenn Miller Band. I remember him introducing me to Etta James. And he likes Beyonce too. So my dad would not have a problem with any of this. He would say, yes, the music is beautiful and let's just enjoy it. He would say.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah. So Etta James also wrote a memoir too, Rage to Survive. So if you're interested in her background, and she really did have a very troubled background. She grew up in foster homes, and she had a drug addiction that she fought through a lot of her life. And then died of leukemia later in life. But she had some successes along the way. So, I'm glad that she got a chance to do what she really loved to do, and that was to sing.
Awesome. Well, speaking of wisdom from Mr. Pierce,
Oh,
we have
gosh.
our Monday morning motivation.
All right. So, yes, you guys are allowing me to do Monday morning motivation again. I was told that the lecturer in me, the faculty member in me, did too much last week. So, yes, that was what happened in the sidebar conversations after the fact. So, I'm not going to do a takeover like I did last time. But actually, we all agreed on this one quote, since we're keeping in line with Black history. Frederick Douglass said in a speech that is well known, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. So here are my two sentences, okay, and then we can discuss.
Wow, look at Ryan.
Trimmed it down way much, right? So the speech continues after that line, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. It goes on to say, those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground.
That's deep.
They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. So those words, of course, were during a speech about the abolition of slavery, but we can apply the same words motivationally to ourselves. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. And so the question is, if are we willing to be uncomfortable? Are we willing to cause a disturbance within ourselves to grow? Or how do we expect to break free from the chains of our own self-deprecating habits and limiting beliefs? What are we, and the questions of that, what are we a slave to? What must we overcome with fervor and haste in order to be better versions of ourselves? And so that's kind of the discussion for today.
That's a great discussion question. I think several iterations of that quote has been birthed since then. No pain, no gain. And I think the thought around that is sometimes true progress only happens by the sweat of your brow through work. And, to get to something great, sometimes it is a struggle to get there. That muscle ripping when you're exercising doesn't feel good. It hurts. It hurts so bad. In one of my workout videos, the girl says, it hurts so good. But, it hurts so bad that you will want to stop. You will want to stop. But if you stop, you don't accomplish your goal of building muscle. It's necessary to build muscle. And so you have to endure some pain to get to where you want to go. Like you think about childbirth, the ultimate, to me, the ultimate pain. But at the end of it, you have this beautiful baby that you've been waiting to meet for all of those months. And so, yeah, I do believe that's a valid position, that you do have to work through some things to get to something good, that the hard work is necessary in marriage.
And I would like to ask everyone, what are you working on? What are some of your pain points, or what is one pain point that you feel like, you're struggling to make progress in a certain area? What would that be?
I'll go first. It has been brought to my attention by just reading and stuff that being argumentative isn't, it's not the best to be, the best way to be in order to, kind of get further in life. Whenever you're talking to somebody, I have a really bad habit of saying, no, you're wrong. Pointing
wait.
out.
That's hard to
wrong.
believe, isn't it?
Cameron is the most agreeable person I know.
It's probably in closer relationships I have.
Yeah.
People I've known for a really long time. I don't have a problem with, pointing out things like that. And I've been reading How to, I think, Win Friends and Influence Others by Dale Carnegie.
Yeah, great book.
That's
lot
a
of good
great
truths,
book.
A lot of good truths in there about how to be in order to, gain friends and make friends. And one of them that kind of hit me hard was the argumentative thing. And that's something I've been struggling with even yesterday. My fiance will say, oh, we need to do this. And I'll say, actually, that's not how you're supposed to do it. Because I have a particular way of doing things. And being argumentative, that helps nobody. You hurt the person that you're arguing with, and then you're not left with much yourself. So whenever you choose to, and Dale Carnegie said this in his book, but it's like whenever you choose to, be wrong and be humble and maybe be in that space of maybe there's another way of doing things,
Right.
you'll get more than you expect out of that than if you had just argued and you were right, because, you're left with not much after that, and neither is the person you argued with. So that's a pain point that I've been struggling with lately.
Wow.
And I think it's, one of those things you have to be conscious of all the time. And you have to be self-analytical, which hurts.
Self-aware.
That's one of those pain points of being critical of yourself. And that's something the book talks about, too, is whenever you're critical of yourself first and you recognize your faults first, it gives people less room to point those out for you, which also kind of works in your favor from day to day. So, yeah, that's a pain point, and you can't be happy all the time. Life is about feeling the wide array of human emotions that God has blessed us with. And sometimes they combine, sometimes they knock into each other. Sometimes you're feeling 17 at once, and that's just being an adult. And
Being
it's a
human.
beautiful thing. It's being human, and it's a beautiful thing, and it hurts sometimes, but life isn't about it being perfect all the time.
Or being comfortable.
Yeah. Liz, what about you? Is there a pain point you've been experiencing lately?
So in the past few years, self-doubt within myself, not thinking I can do well at something, but I realized God won't put more on me than I can bear, and I've experienced that in my personal life, even with family. Just for a personal note, my mom passed at the very beginning of COVID, not from COVID. She passed in March 2020. So I was stuck in a place where it's like, okay, you're forced to be at home by yourself because that was the quarantine time. So you in this new thing of working remotely, and it's just like, okay, well, how do you deal with this at this time? So it was just like, Lord, guide me. So I know if I can go through situations like that, I can deal with managing my time better.
Yeah.
Ideas of self-doubt, like, can I really do this project? Can I really take this on? So I just move things to the side and put that as a side on my plate and get an extra plate and realize, like, okay, God, this is my table, and I can do this. And I can, it's okay to ask for help from other people when oftentimes I've been in a place where it's like, okay, I can do it all myself because I know how I want it done. It's like, okay, Liz, you have a great family, friends, and colleagues. Ask for help when needed. Work on
Yes.
projects and ideas
Yes.
that you may have in the community or even here at work. So God put me in a position, family, friends, workplace, like I love the space that I'm in and the people that's around me. So it's just like I want to continue to grow from there.
My reflection for both of y'all is that it takes great courage to be in the spaces you're in. For you to reflect and figure out, how can I handle these situations better? How can I collaborate better or compromise better with those that I'm talking with? And you to just take ownership in, there's more for me. I can do more. Let me not be ultra critical of myself. Let me not stop myself before I begin with doubt. And instead, go forward, go through it, but also ask for help when needed. I mean, that takes a lot of courage. It really does.
Transparency is real.
Because I have awesome ideas, and it's just like, okay, let's just put it out there. So that's what I'm doing. That's in my headspace now.
Awesome.
I could probably relate to everything that everybody said, but prioritization and organization for me has been a pain point that I'm making sure that I put first things first. Since we talk about good reading, a great read that you had, John Maxwell would say, time management is a farce. You can't manage time because you if you're managing something, you can control it, right? That's the understanding. And so instead, you can't manage it or control time, but you can prioritize what you do with that time. And so I've taken that lesson to heart, and
That's
I've been
good, Ryan.
very much trying to be a better student of my tendencies, and it's okay to say no sometimes. Sometimes you have to put something off a little bit because there's a more important project or something that's higher up on the priority list that you must attend to immediately. So
Yeah,
for me,
ditto
that's what
that
I'm working on.
struggle. I mean, for me, because it's the same for me. It's there's so many things that I want to do that sometimes I can find myself being paralyzed and not doing anything because I just I don't know where to hop in and jump in and start. But so I would agree with that, Ryan. All right.
Awesome.
That was really good.
Awesome.
That was really good, really rich. Good job, Ryan, on the Monday morning motivation. So what's your final word to our audience?
Final word would be, do not hug your chains. the things that hold you down. And that's
Oh, that's
and,
good.
and that's not specifically me. Again, that's from Frederick Douglass's speech, but I'm just rewording it to say, do not hug your chains. Power concedes nothing without a demand, and that demand has to come from you.
All right, y'all. So don't get comfortable in your spaces, whether they're good or bad. Press and break free to another level, because we should all be evolving and all growing. So this Monday morning motivation is grow.
We love to see it. Y'all have a great Monday.
Thank you for
See you
joining.
guys next week.
Okay, we're clear.
All right. That